You're listening to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil. And now, your host.
Thank you and good evening, good morning, wherever you may be listening around the world or in the comfort of your own home. I am Paranormal Phil, and tonight is a bitter but sad night because tonight will be the last show for Talking the Night for a while. I'm putting the show on hiatus for a little bit because I am going to be moving to Fort Worth, Texas from California. And it's going to be one interesting move. I've always wanted to live in Texas. I've lived in Texas a couple places before, but never really stuck. This time I want to make it stick. So right now I'm just going to type in the numbers to call in. And let's see, 9-1, and I'll read off the numbers just in case you're listening and not in the chat. I'll read them off in a second. Phone lines are going to be open tonight. I will not open them just yet, just because I got to go over some things. For those that did not watch the Facebook Live that I did at 8 o'clock, like I said, I am moving to Texas. Chance at a new life and everything. And hopefully to get in to broadcasting there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on terrestrial radio. But I will keep the show. Hopefully I can keep the show and do terrestrial radio at the same time. We'll see what happens. But I will continue to do Ask Paranormal Phil. As it stands right now, it'll be every Tuesday night on Talking the Night Facebook page. Now, if I do find a job there that requires me to work on Tuesdays, then I will do it later, but I will on a later date and everything. Thanks, Nicole. I know you told me already, but I will do it at a later date. But I will make sure I post about it, that I will do it on another day or something like that. I'll keep everybody posted on that. Now, the show's website and Facebook page will be open. I'll update the page every so often. Well, practically every day I'll update on the page on what's going on with me. And I want to share so if you're listening on Spreaker and in the chat, I cannot see you right now because I am off trying to share the show onto the show's website. But and some other things real quick, but I will get back to the chat in a moment. But like I said, I am going to be moving to Fort Worth, and it's definitely a life change that I've been saying I'm going to move to Texas for a while and never have, and now's the time for me to go. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't scared of moving there, just a little bit, but especially with no housing and job prospects at the moment. That I'm going to work on next week, because I got work tomorrow and Sunday at my day job, which I'm gonna quit there. Um, but like I said, tonight will be the last show for Talking the Night for a while. I'll try and bring it back as quickly as possible, so that way I don't lose too much time. Now, the guests that I have scheduled for the rest of this month and next month, March, I'm gonna have to reschedule them for a later time. I'll let them know that the show is on hiatus for a while. Like I said, hopefully I get back to doing the show regularly. So tonight we have open lines, as I said, and the numbers to call in are 951-223-5055 or by Skype in Paranormal Phil, all one word. So the phone lines are open. I'm gonna sneeze here in a moment. So please excuse me. I tried to hold that one in, but it wouldn't hold. So I want to get into some questions here from a site here that I'm on. And I'm going to look for a question here. And like I said, if you got a question, feel free to call into the show. Like I said, phone lines are going to be open this full 2 hours. Well, almost the 2 hours, because I didn't start with open lines. But I'll have the lines open if you want to call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. And I'm just trying to find a site that has a good question to answer. So, like I said, okay, so these are pretty darn old. They go back to 2015, so yeah, I probably don't want to go to that site. I'm looking for more current stuff. Actually, let's get into some experiences by people from a different website. And if you want to pop in the chat on Spreaker, if you're listening on Spreaker, there is a little chat bubble. Click on that and pop in there. You can ask your question there too. If you're listening on TuneIn or YouTube, go ahead and call in. The numbers to call in are 951-223-5055 or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. So let's see. Okay, let's go to this one. Need some advice for a dark entity that is following me, and because I've been in the field for so long and dealt with darker entities quite often, this is a good thing for me, especially since it mentions an empath, so I can really answer this one. So hey there, this one is from Sarah, and it says, "Hey there, I'm an empath. I have a huge problem rising in my house. I have been having problems with shadow people and other entities that has somehow attached to me. This guy is mean. He's been making me unpredictable and violent and making me think about hurting myself and other people. I sat down and tried to talk to him. It was really heavy, and I started getting my visions where I can see energy around things and almost blacked out. I immediately made it clear that he is not allowed to harm me or my family. I went to the bathroom to put some cold water on my face and tried to get my energy back. I looked at myself in the mirror and my pupils were dilated, which is a little concerning. Looked kind of like Tim's when he does a Gansfield session. Any advice that you would have would be greatly appreciated. Okay, now for this person, of course, I'm not going to answer the question on the site, but I will answer it on the air. And this is for anybody that is an empath and really experiencing this darker stuff. Well, let's put it this way. At the Omen House, when we were doing the 2 house tours, of course, David's house was like daytime and the other house was like night. And we had a couple of people get sick from that other house because of the darkness in that house. One happened to be an empath that was new to her abilities. So what I would suggest to anybody that is an empath and feels like they are being attacked by something darker, and if it's not light but not dark, then this will still work. But what I did is, of course, I helped along with it too, but what I did, the person was bent over like she was getting sick. And of course, I had common medical science would tell you do not have, or wisdom would have you not have them stand up to where it's going to go everywhere. Just let it fall. But, or if you feel like you're going to black out, you want less area to fall instead of being standing up and falling straight back or something like that. But what I did is I had her stand up and I had her take a couple of deep breaths and close her eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Well, she did that, and as she was doing that, I had her imagine the brightest white light that she could imagine. And of course, I was projecting a white light onto her, as well as, of course, being as strong as I am. And within a minute or two, she felt 100% better. Now, when you have dark energies or dark entities and you want to protect yourself, always project that white light, because the darkness cannot make it through that white light. Imagine the brightest white light you can imagine, because it's not going to penetrate it. And I know I talk from experience because I've been there, done that, and helped others do the same. I'm just changing the commercial break for getting the second commercial break loaded up. So if you're an empath and you feel like you're being under attack, as long as you're not the one that provoked the energy to do that or anything like that, this will work for you. If you did it, you better take your lickings, because it's gonna affect you. But like I said, if you feel like you're being attacked by darker entities, take a couple of deep breaths, project the brightest white light you can imagine. The brightest white, the brighter the light, white light, the more effective it's gonna be. Sorry, I'm just having trouble speaking there for a moment. But that would be my advice, and like I said, it has worked for me. I'm just looking at something. So that's that. Let's see. Let's check another one. Let's go to this one. My experiences. Just seeing something. By Aries Queen. Now, it says, alright, so I'm very certain that I've always been very sensitive to the paranormal. I've never actually seen a ghost, but I can feel them. And I've always felt as if I'm an empath. Now, before I continue to read on, if you want to know if you're an empath or anything like that, check out my blog on the talkingthenight.weebly.com website. I have a blog on there about the different types of empaths, the 30 traits of an empath, and how you can tell if you're an empath. So, continue on with it. Being around a lot of people makes me pretty nervous, and it tends to drain me. Now, if it does that, you're usually going to be probably more of a emotional empath. Like I said in my blog, empaths like myself, where we're hyper empaths, where we have all that trait, all the traits, all the different types of empaths, is very rare. And it's something that you cannot learn. It cannot be taught. It is a gift that you are born with. Let's see. Continue on, which is also just regular introvert tendencies. I'm really good at picking up on things about people, their energies, etc. I got more into the supernatural when I was around 11 or 12. I started getting into witchcraft and Wicca around that time too. Now, if you practice witchcraft or Wicca, do not practice the dark magic, because it's going to come back to you threefolds, and not in a good way. All my magic is practiced with light magic, nature magic, stuff like that. I don't do no harm to nobody because I know it's going to come back to me. So, I will mention this: there are people out there that practice witchcraft and Wicca that do not have the best interest in mind when it comes to practicing the craft. Now, I've been told from time to time I'm a devil worshiper because I practice witchcraft and practice Wicca. Well, and those are from the people I like to call Bible thumpers. But I just shrug it off, because they know nothing. They're closed-minded. They know nothing about the paranormal field, or not. Well, they probably don't know anything about the paranormal field either. But they know nothing about witchcraft and Wicca, or at least what I practice, because they never taught to me after I mentioned that I'm a witch. So continue on. This is a long experience, and we'll probably have to take a commercial break before I finish. Uh, but her best friend introduced her to it. We did a few seances, and I read all the books I could get my hands on about it. Now, also, if you want to learn about Wicca, that's fine, but learn the history of it. Learn the good things about it, not the bad stuff. Research and learn everything that you can about it. Now it says, I even created my own book of shadows out of purple notebook. I know what you're thinking. Little girls shouldn't play with magic, but I actually tried to be responsible for the most part. I never did Ouija or anything like that. I think I just felt that I was different and wanted to explore that more and find answers. Now, as I've said before, and I'll say it many times over, the Ouija board itself is not bad. It's the intent put into it. If you put that bad intent into it, that's exactly what you're going to get out of it. Same with other tools. Even holy water can be used badly. Digital recorders, sage. It's the intent that is put into it that makes these objects work. Otherwise, they're just objects. So, continue on. Okay, so this first one I didn't really remember since I was a baby. Not sure how old, but I'm guessing a year old. Old enough to form sentences. My mom is, of course, for those that might be tuning in just now, this is from Aries Queen on Live Sci-Fi TV. Live Sci-Fi .tv, I should say. My mom is the one that tells this story. She says she's not suspicious, but I think she just says that. So, I don't think it was meant to say suspicious, but that's what it said. So my mom took care of my great-grandmother before she died, and we stayed with her and my grandmother quite a bit. My mom said I like to go into her room a lot and hang out with her. After she died, I would not go into her room anymore. Like I was afraid to go in there. But I sit just outside the door, and usually my mom or someone would go in and turn on the TV. My mom says that she walked past and I'd be talking to myself, but when she asked me who I was talking to, I say Ganny. Couldn't pronounce my R's yet. And one day, I guess, I was sitting at the door again. My mom came to turn on the TV, and apparently it was already on. She asked if anyone else had turned it on, and they hadn't. It was one of those big old TVs that would have been too small to reach if I hadn't been too afraid to go in there in the first place. Now, I'm going to stop right there with this for a moment, because, as I've said on the show before, everybody has the ability to see and communicate with spirits. It's just a matter of learning to unlock that, because we're told at a young age that is just our imagine. A lot of us are, not all of us, but a lot of us are. That it's just our imagination. It's let's see, what was I gonna say? It's just our imagination. It's an imaginary friend. It's not real, and that ability gets pushed to the deepest parts of the subconscious. And it can be unlocked, it just takes years of training your mind to do so. Now, we got about 4 minutes till the break. I'm going to read one more sentence, or one more paragraph thing here, and then we'll go into the commercial break. Now, it says, what piqued my interest the most was a dream. I was standing in front of these woods at my friend's house, and I got a notification on Facebook because one of my friends lost their uncle today, so I commented saying sorry for your loss and everything like that. And ever since then, I've been getting comments, people commenting on those posts, and I get that ding in my ear from the comments on Facebook. So I apologize if you hear them. If you don't hear them, I want to explain what I'm hearing, and I apologize for it. Let's see. Continuing on, I was standing in front of these woods in my friend's grandmother's old house. She had this big property with a lake and these big woods that had a trail, and I had always been drawn to them and the woods in general. There are some at my childhood that I feel similarly drawn to, but that's a different story, which I'm going to actually stop right there, because that does get into another story that actually goes into past life regression. Because this person probably recognized those woods from a past life. So anyway, back to the dream. My friend wasn't even there, but I was outside and saw her cat run into the woods, which caught my attention initially. And there stood a little girl. She looked pretty young, maybe about 7 or 8. She had a white gown and golden curly hair. I remember thinking she looked scared or just very blank looking, and she was floating looking right at me. Neither of us said a word, and she kept floating closer until I finally got the nerve to say hello, and she vanished. And I woke up, and it's pretty crazy now that I think that I can still remember it so well, as I usually forget dreams really quickly, which I do too. I really wanted to know who that girl was, or if she was real, or what the dream meant. Never did find that out. Now, of course, with open lines, I'm not going to do readings, but I will open up myself to the spirit world and answer that question in a moment. But before we do, we're going to go into a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more open line phone calls. If you want to call in, the numbers are open. 951-223-5055 or by Skype, Paranormal Phil, all one word. We'll be right back after the short commercial break.
Voices in my head, know me, call me, I will be restless, somehow they chose me. This is my nightlife, wanna be high life, I feel so reckless, calling them all night. I'm calling
Are you a ghost hunter and need equipment to go out and investigate locations that have spirit activity? Well, GhostStop.com has all the equipment that you need. They have a K2 EMF meter for $59.90. Or how about a Ghost Rover cam for $199.95? Click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk in the Night website and get shopping today. GhostStop.com, your one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs.
Do you have a paranormal team? Are you a small-time author? Do you have a radio show that you would like to promote? Is there anything that you would like to get the word out there about but don't have a big budget? Well, Talk in the Night has an opportunity for you to sponsor the show without breaking your wallet. Contact the show at talkinthe.night@outlook.com or on the show's website or Facebook page for more details.
Do you think you have a haunted or cursed object? Well, Nicole Gaspard does, and in her book Haunted Vessels and Cursed Objects, she talks about her continued paranormal and supernatural ghost encounters, haunted dolls, and other items that are supposed to be haunted or cursed. Pick up your copy today on Amazon.com. Call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back. Like the thing said, we are back with open lines. If you want to call into the show, the numbers were mentioned there, 951-223-5055, or by Skype, Paranormal Phil, all one word. Just Paranormal Phil, not the Skype part, but call into the show. I would love to hear your stories, experiences, or if you got a question about the paranormal or anything, feel free to call in. It doesn't have to be about the paranormal. I just happen to know a lot about the paranormal. And I think what I'll do is I'll answer some questions that are not related to the paranormal tonight. If I can find anything interesting enough that I know about. But let's continue on with, well, you know what? It's very long. We're not going to continue on with that story. But that's what I'm looking for as far as people calling in and share their experiences. And everything like that. Now, I ask if you call that you're not rude to anybody that calls prior, or you're not rude to me, or you're not rude to anybody in the chat listening. That's all I ask. Otherwise, you can call in and share your stories, experiences, or questions. Now, let's see. Let's get into... Oh, I was going to answer a question about the dream that person had that I was reading about before the commercial break. And I just remembered. The spirits are getting into my ears going, you almost forgot to answer the question. What she was probably seeing in that dream was actually most likely her past life. So, yeah, that's most likely for what she saw. Was herself in a past life. Now, let's see. Let's go to this one right here. Possible experience a little freaked out by Devil's Darkness. What a name. Or a screen name. It says, I'm not sure what exactly signifies a sleep paralysis experience from someone something different, more sinister, but whether what just happened was sleep paralysis or something else, it freaked me out. So I just needed to get it typed out and felt this was the best place for it. First off, can sleep paralysis occur if you haven't yet fallen asleep, or rather when you have woken up suddenly from a weird dream? Yes, it can. If you're just on the edges of REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, yes, sleep paralysis can happen. Or when you're just waking up, yes. Because what it is our bodies tightening our muscles so we don't roll off the bed or something like that to where we hurt ourselves. It's our brain's way of saying, nope, tighten up the muscles, he's about to fall over. So yeah, that it can happen when you're just going to sleep or when you're just waking up. So continue on. It's been a fairly long week, months actually. So being overly tired, I was just getting tired pretty easily lately, and I've found it pretty odd. I've been dismissing it as just the stuff that has been going on in my life lately, i.e. transferring to university and being overloaded with assignments. My dog gets suddenly sick and I have to put her to sleep, and then Friday night it got something being getting to meet a director, a writer, and celebrity or two, all at movie show. And anyways, I was headed to bed early that night. I was lying down and watching some TV. Until I got that okay falling asleep point that you get when you're laying down and watching TV. I turned the TV off and closed my eyes and was trying to fall asleep. My mind started to wander as it usually does while I was trying to fall asleep. Not long after that passed, I had my eyes closed and I started to drift off to sleep, and I had this slight mental image feeling of something traveling over a great distance and very quickly getting closer. I started to fall asleep more and was getting ready to dream, and even started to feel about what I was dreaming, but kind of suddenly that scene got overtaken by the feeling of something traveling closer, and let me say that whatever it felt like was not good feeling. It felt angry, it felt pissed, it felt ready to do damage. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of it, but going off of that, of course, like I said, sleep paralysis is our mind's way of tightening up our muscles so that way we don't roll off the bed or fall over if we happen to be standing up against something. Of course, if you tighten up your muscles and you're standing up, you're going to fall over anyways, but it tries to protect us. So basically, what this thing was basically the old hag syndrome, where this person was experiencing, and of course, the stress of everything adds to that. I'm surprised with the stress of trying to figure out everything to move to Texas right now. It hasn't affected me, but like I said, I'm pretty strong when it comes to darker energies wanting to get at me. They can't affect me. So basically, that's what it was sleep paralysis. Like I said, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's long. So I want to get into some questions here, not the experiences. Let's check this thing. Now, equipment for paranormal. Let's see. I would like to know about equipment that is used for your investigation. Could I get a breakdown of the stuff used on everyone's investigation? I've started a paranormal group here in Florida. We just have the basics so far: digital camera, recorders, and that's all the question is, or what the person's asking. Well, first off, I'm going to mention this. The paranormal field is not a job. You cannot do it for pay. Well, you can, but I'll explain that in a moment. Why I don't. And now, if you want to help out with tours and they pay you, that's one thing. But doing an investigation, it's a very expensive hobby, or it can be a very expensive hobby. Now, as far as yeah, if I can talk. As far as I go, and I forgot, this is from Dap Furry on livescience.tv. I forgot about that. Just in case these people ever tune in and listen to it. For me, I only have a few pieces of equipment that I use, and it's very seldom do I use them. And that's a digital recorder, a digital camera, and basically myself. Okay, I got a message on my phone or a notification about something. Nothing important. But if you get into the paranormal field, I ask that you don't trespass on a location without getting permission from the owner. If you're going to do an investigation at locations, be respectful of the location as long as you got the okay to do that. As far as equipment goes, you can get K2 meters, all this type of stuff, Boo Buddy, Interactive Bear, all these FLIR cameras, which can range into the couple $100 range. Now, if you click on the Ghost Stop banner ad at the top of the talkingtonight.weebly.com website, you can check out equipment there. You can buy the equipment there, I should say, and do that. Now, with the technology that is out there these days, there are apps that you can use. I don't recommend using like Ovilus or anything like that, because a lot of times the stuff is not contextual, meaning that it's not pertaining to what you're talking about or asking. But that everybody their own on that. I personally won't use them. Same with Frank's boxes. I will not, or the Radio Shack hack. I will not use those. Just because I'd rather rely on my own abilities than rely on the equipment, because a lot of the equipment can be fake. Now, like I said, it's a very expensive hobby. And sorry, I got an itch on my nose. Of course, you can't see that, but I do have an itch. I think it's my mustache. But, yeah, do not, if you're going to use equipment, do not put the wrong intent into it. Do not charge money for investigations, because what will happen is, if you charge for an investigation, that person can come back and say, well, they only did it for the money, that they were lying through their teeth, stuff like that, and that gives you a bad reputation. So basically, don't charge for the thing, because then they can't say, well, you did it for the money. And if they say that you don't know what you're talking about, it's not haunted, I don't believe you, well, that's their belief. If they want to believe that, that's up to them. But you did everything that you could to help them. Now, again, since I do cleansing of homes, do not do that kind of stuff unless you are properly trained to do so. It took me years of training to learn how to do that. And I don't recommend anybody do what I do, because it can affect you, and it can affect me. I've had some of the darkest entities, energies that you can imagine, whether you want to believe it as a demon or a dark entity or whatever. I've had them actually make me a little bit ill at times. But, and of course, I'm losing my voice right now, so I apologize. But I will get through this 2 hours. But, yeah, do not go out and try to what was I going to say? To actually get rid of dark energies or demons, if that's what you believe in, without proper training, because if you don't know what you're going to do, you're going to get hurt badly. And I'm just going to type this into the thing because I forgot to do it. I want to mention in the Talking the Night website and Talking the Night Facebook page that the phone lines are open. And I will mention that the numbers to call in are by Skype. That is by Skype in the name Paranormal Phil, all one word. Oops. Or by phone. Sorry, I'm typing and I have trouble typing and talking at the same time. So by phone, 951-223-5055. So the phone lines are open if you want to call and share your stories, experiences, or questions, or questions. It doesn't have to be about the paranormal. It can be about other things. I do have knowledge in other things, which I'm going to get to after the break. In 10 minutes, I'm going to answer a question that doesn't refer to the paranormal. But so I just want to put that out there, so that way if you call in and think that it has to be about the paranormal, it doesn't have to be just about the paranormal. It can be about relationships. It can be about what's going on in the world today, stuff like that. So, and my computer wants to be kind of stupid. So I'm just trying to cool it off. I have a cooling fan under it, but it still wants to be a pain in the butt. So that's about that. Now, okay, now this one, like I said, I don't rely on really apps for investigating, but I do use one app that if I can talk tonight, I'm losing my voice and I can't even talk straight. But there is one app that I do use. If you have an iPhone, I don't know what it is on an Android phone, but on an iPhone, it's an EMF sensor. EMF readings should be around 400 to 500 regularly. Places like the Oman House, we've gotten to 2,000, even up to 6,000 to 8,000 milligauss on it. So, yeah, some locations are going to have a higher energy. Now, if you're in a location where there's high power lines or something like that, that's usually where you're going to get it. But if you're in a location that doesn't have that and you get those high numbers, then something's going on there. Like at the Oman House, there's a high geomagnetic field in that whole canyon, and that's why those readings can be so wonky at times. And ever since I've had Miss M on my show talking about numerology, I've used that word wonky. I don't know why. I'm going to get me a drink of water because, like I said, I am losing my voice. And hopefully that'll help. So I apologize for the silence there for a moment. So we do have phone lines open. We got about 7 minutes before we get into the commercial break. So let me get into this question. It says, over the years I've seen numerous ghost hunting apps come out for iOS and Android. I remember Ghost Radar. Now there seems to be a whole slew of new ghost hunting apps that are supposedly used to detect, communicate, or document paranormal activity. But do any of them actually work? I have seen some apps sell for as high as $50. WTF? To me it seems like a scam. Maybe I'm just old school, but I'd much rather use the good old voice recorder and EMF detector to hunt ghosts. Anybody else? Has anybody had any luck with ghost hunting apps? Now, I will mention this. David Ullman don't care for people to use apps at his house because he doesn't believe in them. Now, there are some apps that I don't really believe. Like I said, the Ovilus, it's hard to get contextual things from it. I'm not saying that it can't happen, because spirits can manipulate electronics. Why you think when you go into a location that's highly haunted, the batteries drain? They can manipulate the electronics. But I don't put much stock into them. Now, there is one app that I've used, and I actually believe, let me type this in because somebody asked a question in on the post about the phone lines being open. And I want to let everybody know that I have the phone lines open. And I can type pretty quick. I just can't type and talk at the same time. I don't know why. So please forgive me for the quietness for a moment there. So I wanted to reply to this person, Anna, because she asked what I was talking about tonight, and tonight is just open lines. I try to pay attention to everything going on. I got several things open at the moment. But as I was saying, there is one app that I actually believe that can detect spirits, and that is Ghost Detect Pro on iOS. Like I said, the Ghost Radar app, I don't really put much faith into it. And like I said, I'd rather use my own abilities to communicate with spirits rather than actually use apps. So, and yeah, that was already said who that was by. So if you have any questions about the paranormal or anything, it can be about relationships, it can be about what's going on in the world, or if you got stories or experiences that you want to share, like I said, doesn't all have to be about the paranormal. Feel free to call into the show by Skyping Paranormal Phil, it's all one word, or by phone at 951-223-5055. So we got a couple minutes till we go into the commercial break. And like I said, I want to mention, if you want to get equipment, not equipment, but or not apps, I mean, but rather equipment for investigating the paranormal, click on the okay. So Anna, if you happen to listen to this show later on, and for anybody that is tuning in late, this is going to be my last show for a while because I am making the move to Texas, and it's going to be a while before I get on my feet and get things going to where I can do the show again. So I apologize for that, but this is something I have to do. I've been wanting to move to Texas, and I'm finally getting the chance to, so I'm taking that chance right now. Alright, so like I said, we are at the commercial break at 10 o'clock. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more open lines. If you want to pop in the chat, there is a little chat bubble. Click on that. We'll be right back.
My head is heavy, let me lay it down. Into your lap I would love to drown. I need that story I used to hear, to run on and to end disappear. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. Your stories, they come from the heart. Glue me together and tear me apart.
If you like old-time talk shows, then you must tune in to Night Dreams Talk Radio. UFOs to Bigfoot, did we say black-eyed children? You'll find Night Dreams Talk Radio on TuneIn, iHeart, iTunes, and all the major apps. But on TuneIn, they're live 7 to 9 p.m. West Coast time starting in February. With all the major guests, Night Dreams. Do you have an interest in the paranormal? Well, tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific on the Talk in the Night Facebook page for Ask Paranormal Phil. The show is a Facebook Live show where he gets into different topics about the paranormal and answers your questions. That's Ask Paranormal Phil every Tuesday night, only on the Talk in the Night Facebook page.
Do you have a talk radio, Facebook Live, or YouTube show and would like guests for your show but don't know where to go to get them? Well, go to radioguestlist.com and sign up today. They have all different experts in different fields, and you can find the ones that are just right for your show. That's radioguestlist.com. Sign up today. It's free.
Are you scared? I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before you know.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back. We're into the last hour of the show. Like I said, the phone line, and like you heard there, the phone lines are open. So feel free to call into the show and share your stories, experiences, or questions. Numbers to call in: Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. Now, as I said, in this second hour, I will answer more than just the paranormal questions. And I was actually talking about this with a coworker a while back. We were talking about where actually we were talking about it yesterday on the way home from work, because my truck is not working, so I had to ride with her to work. And we got talking about pornography and guns. and they're saying that pornography is actually more dangerous or harmful to society than guns. And or somebody said that. Well, I will say this. Guns are never going to go away. They're part of our Second Amendment here in the United States, just for those that are listening outside the country. We do have a right to carry and bear arms. I don't believe that the guns are the bad thing. It's the people that are using them. And I think mental health is more the problem than the guns. Like the school shooting in Florida. The FBI was told about this person, and they did nothing. So, what is going on in our society where our FBI, our police, and I'm not saying all are bad, but when stuff like this gets reported to the FBI or police or something, do something about it. Take this person's guns away. And I'm not talking about law-abiding citizens that want to own guns. I mean, I don't have a gun, but I would love to have a gun. And I'm pretty sure I'll get one when I get to Texas, because Texas is an open carry state. But it will be for my own protection, not to use on anybody, unless I need to do so. But our society has become so frightened by guns, and the gun is just a tool. Just like in the paranormal, the object is a tool. It's the intent that you put into it that makes it good or bad. Same thing with guns. So this person in Florida most likely had a mental health issue, and I don't think people that have mental health issues should be able to own guns. If you got a clear mind and you're not deranged mentally or something like that, you should be able to own a gun. Now, we were also, me and my coworker were also talking about that for the background checks. This person was able to walk into a gun store, buy this gun legally, and not have to wait a grace period. Well, the grace period ain't going to change nothing. What we need to do is almost like have a doctor's note type thing, psychiatrist from our doctors to fill out something, or for the gun store to call them and say that we are mentally stable to own a gun. Now, the criminals are always going to get guns, so it doesn't matter. And like I said, we're talking about guns and pornography, which is more dangerous to society. Well, yes, pornography can be dangerous if it is child pornography, which I don't condone. It can be harmful to children, so make sure that we have to make sure that there are stricter ways of not allowing kids to get onto these pornographic sites. But neither one is bad unless you make it bad. So that is my thoughts on that. Like I said, the gun is not bad. It's just a tool. The intent that you put into it is what makes it bad. So, like I said, I'm going to answer questions other than the paranormal too tonight. But I wanted to talk about that since I was talking about that with my coworker. So let's get into a question about the paranormal now. It has to do with Sage. The person asking is Terry. Says, I don't know how many know this or not, and I don't know after watching the investigation last night if they really know or not, or did that just to keep it lit. For my own peace of mind here, and because am Native American, I thought I would share this. Sage is useful for many different reasons, but for all those reasons, if you use it to smudge as a bowl, you light it and blow out the flame. It is the smoke you want, not the fire. Good spirits, not just Native Americans, will come to the smoke. The smoke is also used to rid a house of evil or bad energy in place. And I'm going to stop right there because, and I'm going to continue on with the question, but I'm going to stop right there for a moment because, like I said, it's just a tool. The intent that you put into it is what makes it do what you want it to do. But without that intent, it does nothing. So continue on. To do the right way, say in a house that has a bad spirit, you start by smudging yourself first and then offer the smoke to the rest, to the east, the south, the west, north, above and below. Now everybody's got a different belief system on how to use it, and this is this person's belief, since she is Native American. Let's see, it says, then you go to the back of the house or wherever you are, stand in the middle of the room and start fanning the sage in a clockwise circle, walking around. You will keep walking as the circle grows bigger until you have reached the outer walls. When you have finished that room, go to the next room. You can go straight down the hall ways, and don't forget closets. Okay, so I'm not going to get into any more of this because, like I said, is the tool. It has no power unless you put that power into it. So that's my thoughts on it. Like I said, if you're listening to the show on Spreaker, pop in the chat. There is a little chat bubble. If you're listening on TuneIn or YouTube, call into the show. The show will be ending in about 45 minutes. So if you want to get your stories, experiences, or if you got a question, like I said, don't have to be about the paranormal. Call in 951-223-5055 or by Skype. By Skyping the name Paranormal Phil, all one word. Sorry I got the hiccups. And I think I lost all my listeners or people in the chat. But pop in the chat. Let me know you're listening. I want to know how many people are listening to the show. So let's see. Well, let's get into another non-paranormal question here. And I just saw something um, which is interesting. It's like the age-old question: which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, this one says, do you put cereal or milk into the bowl first? And of course, everybody's got their own way of doing it. I like to put the cereal in first and then the milk. But some people might want to put the milk in and then the cereal in so the cereal don't get soggy right away. So it's up to each person to determine what they want to do. I don't tell anybody how to do it or anything like that. That's, if they want to do it that way, that's their thing. Let's see if we can find another non-paranormal question. And this is actually just plain out stupid by this person. It's almost like a dumb criminal type thing. It says, I'm 22 years old and made $81,000 under the table last year. Will the IRS find out? Well, you just posted about it. So somebody just might tell the IRS that you did that. Now, personally, I think that the IRS has no business collecting income tax, especially with income tax coming up. Let me talk about this. The 16th Amendment says, and I'm still looking for the right wording, how to word it so I don't have to ever pay taxes again, and to where they can't collect taxes. But I know I've heard of lawyers fighting the IRS and won it, and they haven't collected any taxes on them since then. But basically what the 16th the amendment says, that they can collect taxes if you're making a profit off of your income. Well, I'm not, when I'm working at a job, I'm not making a profit off of my income. I'm getting paid for the services that I'm providing. So I'm not making a profit off of it. Now, if you own like a business and you sell things and stuff like that, and you mark up your prices from what you get from the wholesaler, then you are making a profit. But if you're working at a job, collecting a paycheck, you are not making a profit off of your income. And what I want to do here in a second is I want to go to it. I want to go to the 16th Amendment and read what it says. So that way you can hear what it says. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been up since before 5 a.m. So I'm a little tired. I haven't slept since then. So I'm trying to get through this show the best I can without hiccuping, sneezing, yawning. But as soon as the page loads here, it says the 16th Amendment says the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derives without apportionment among the several states without regards to census or... Okay, that's not what I was looking for. because that doesn't go into a lot of detail on it. It says the 16th Amendment ratified in 1913. That's when the Federal Reserve started. That's when they started collecting taxes. That's when everything went downhill. Played a central role in building up the powerful American federal government of the 20th century by making it possible to enact a modern nationwide income tax. Okay, this doesn't say. It says taxing clause in Article 1, Section 8 grants Congress the power to lay and collect taxes, duties imposed and exercised, but Article 1 also provides twice that a direct tax must be appropriated among the states on a base population. That means if a tax is direct tax, the state with 1/10 of the nation's population must bear 1/10 of the total liability. Now, like I said, I have yet to find the right wording, but I know that there are lawyers that have fought the IRS and won because, like I said, there is wording in it somewhere, and I forget where, that says that they cannot collect federal income tax because it is not a profit that you're making off of the income. Now, I don't recommend anybody go out and tell the IRS, I'm not paying. The 16th Amendment says I can't pay. No, do your research. Get a lawyer if you must, that's in tax law, and ask them about it. But don't go into the IRS and say, I'm not paying because the 16th Amendment says that I shouldn't pay because I'm not making an income, or making a profit off of my income, I should say. Sorry, just light my cigarette. That's probably why I'm losing my voice. I smoke too much. I really need to quit. But we're almost at the break. Let's get into another paranormal question here. And let's see. Let's see. Can you EVPs? Let's see. Okay, now let's go to this question. Okay, I was just checking because I got a notification on Facebook. I wanted to make sure somebody wasn't commenting there. Okay, so let's get into this. Paranormal beliefs, religious beliefs, and personality. Oh, it's a long post. I'm not going to get into that. But to each his own religious belief. I will mention, being a Wiccan, that that each person is entitled to their own beliefs, but when you infringe on other people's beliefs, then now I'll have people that say, well, what about the terrorists? What about their beliefs? Should you infringe on their beliefs? Well, yes, that's their beliefs, but be mindful that they do have those beliefs and they're not going to change. Now, you want to avoid these radical terrorists. I'm not going to say Muslim, I'm just saying radical terrorists, because terrorists can come in all shapes and colors and sizes and stuff like that. Same with racism. Racism is not just white on black or white on Hispanic. It can be Hispanic on white, or black on white, or black on Hispanic, or Hispanic on black, or Asian on whites, or whatever. Stuff like that. It is the person that causes the racism because they hate something about somebody. So it's not just one particular race or anything like that. So getting back to the question about the paranormal beliefs, like I said, I don't judge anybody for their belief system, because what they want to believe is what they want to believe. I'm not going to tell them that they're wrong, although I've had people tell me that I'm wrong for my beliefs. Well, they don't know anything about my beliefs, so I don't care what they have to say. But I do correct them from time to time, because I've said it many times, I'll say it again. I've had people say, when I tell them I'm a ghost hunter, paranormal investigator, they're like, there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no such thing as spirits. Well, I love having fun with them. I'll tell them, well, and because just because I'm Wiccan doesn't mean that I don't know the Bible. That I haven't read it or anything like that, which I have, parts and bits and pieces of it. Psalms 23 is one of my favorite psalms, but I tell them, does the Bible not say that Jesus is the Holy Spirit or a Holy Ghost? There's spirit and ghost right there. Does the Bible not say he who cast or some he who is perfect cast the first stone? Well, nobody is perfect. I try for perfection, but I know I'll never be perfect. So don't judge people on their belief system just because it doesn't agree with yours. If you don't want to listen to that person's belief system, that's up to you. Just walk away. But don't try to change their way of believing things just because it doesn't match yours. So we're at the half. We're going to take a commercial break. Last commercial break of the night. The song that will come back from with this last song of this commercial break is me actually singing. We'll be right back. you want to know how to attract love, money, jobs, success? Well, check out livelifemadeToorder.com. If you go to the products page and mention Talk in the Night, you will get 50% off of your order. That's livelifemadeToorder.com. Be sure to check out the show's website at talkingthenight.weebly.com for some great content such as Story of the Day, This Day in History, and much more. Also, if you missed the show, check out the show's archive page under the Radio Show tab where you can find all the shows listed. And be sure to sign up for the Talk in the Night newsletter. Would you like to take part in a special live broadcast of Talk in the Night? A meet and greet with me and David Oman? And how about a 6-hour ghost investigation at the Oman House, which has been featured on paranormal TV shows such as Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Paranormal Witness, Haunted History, and My Ghost Story? Well, go to Talk in the Night on Facebook and click on the event and get your ticket today before they sell out. I'll drive down to Texas again. It's been 5 long years and I sure need a friend. I've been in California for far too long. Put the Chevy on the
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back. Yes, that was my voice. It's not the greatest voice in the world when it comes to singing lately because of the smoking and everything like that. I used to have a really good voice for singing. Now it's just horrible. But I can still sing and everything like that. I still love going out and doing karaoke. So we are into the last half hour of the show. I decided to play a little country there too because I am going to a place where there is a lot of country. Western wares, cowboys, everything. Big Sky, Texas, everything. And you might hear a little bit of a Texas accent in my voice. That's because my dad was a Texan, so I kind of picked up on his accent. And living in the South, I've lived in Virginia, I've lived in Tennessee, I've lived in Texas, so I do have a little bit of Southern drawl to my voice. So let's get into some more questions. Phone lines are open, 951-223-5055, or Skype Paranormal Phil. Paranormal Phil, all one word. Let's get into a non-paranormal question here, if I can find a good one. And let's see. A lot of these look like kid questions. Like, how much does Britney Spears weigh? Stuff like that. I don't know how much she weighs. Why don't you ask her? Go on Twitter and ask her. Doubt you'll get an answer, but never hurts to try. Let's see if there's any kind of question that I can answer here. Okay, well, it's not a paranormal question per se, or it's not a paranormal site for questions, but it kind of is a paranormal question. It says, why do I, this person says, why do I constantly dream of a person I haven't spoke to in years? I dream about this person almost every night, but we haven't seen or spoken to each other for 5+ years. A recent dream I had was him and I were in a dress store helping me find a dress. After he picked a dress, we just walked around talking. Now, one thing I was never good at was dream interpretation. But if you go to like Dream Moods or DreamDictionary.com, one of those two, you can kind of get an idea what your dream means. But this person dreaming about a person that they haven't spoken or seen in 5+ years means that they're thinking about them, or two, the other person's thinking about them and they're coming to them in their dreams. Yes, that can happen. People can travel into other people's dreams. It's not easy to do, but it can be done. So possibly this person wants to connect with this person. Now, there also could be the thing of this person that this person's thinking about possibly passed away and their spirits entering their dream state. Again, not impossible, but it can happen. It's rare, but as far as I know, it's rare, but it can happen. So those are the possibilities. I'm not going to ask the spirits to elaborate on that question. But that is my personal belief. Now, if you call in and you have a question and I don't know it, I will try to, like I did there, give the best answer I can. But I will also let you know I don't know if I don't know. Let's see. Like I said, a lot of questions about different things. Like I said, there's a lot of stupid questions here. Like, I forgot my Hotmail account password. What should I do? Well, reset the password. Simple as that. And there are a lot of, and I don't like to call people stupid, but I mean, you make it real easy by asking stupid questions like that. Now, I'm gonna go to this thing because it says electronic voice phenomenon in ITC, and Nicole Gaspar, who is in the chat, I believe she is doing a ITC session tomorrow. And Nicole, you can call in and mention about that if you want. But let's see. So the phone lines are open, 951-223-5055, or by Skype at Paranormal Phil, all one word, Paranormal Phil. Uh, okay, so let's see. It says, okay, so we went to the Fox Theater. Two noises as the down, and it's got a media file. Yeah, I'm not gonna play any media files because I didn't download them. Now I have gotten. I tell you what. Let me see if I can do this. And I don't know if I can or not, but I'm gonna see if I can download an EVP that I have and let you listen to it. I think it's here. And this one is actually from the Omen House of Gwendolyn singing. But we'll get to it after this call. If Skype will let me answer it.
Hello?
Okay, there we go. It kept ringing when you answered it. It's like, okay, what's going on
I
here?
thought it was bad connection today.
It's everything going crazy. So
He's like,
yeah,
how are you doing?
it's been a long day. I've been up since 4:30 this morning and I haven't slept at all.
I hear
I'm going to bed right shortly after this.
Yeah,
so
same here.
so did you want to mention about your ITC session tomorrow on your page?
Yeah, we had to reschedule because we are connecting. So we changed it to 8 p.m. Pacific time.
All right, and you want to let people know where they can tune into that real quick?
Sure. I usually go through the Spirit Chasers group, Facebook Live, on Facebook.
Okay, so yeah, Spirit Chasers on Facebook, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, correct?
Right.
Or 8
On
p.m.
my home
Pacific, I should say. So, is there anything else that you wanted to mention about or anything like that? Any questions or anything?
I
Or
was wondering
experience.
about. I was wondering about channeling. What you think? What it is?
Like channeling different spirits.
Yeah. How they channel through you. And how you
Well-
control it. What you know.
Well, some people can do that. I personally don't do it, just because it's very draining to do. And if you
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing, it can, especially if you're
I would be afraid to do
empath,
that.
especially if you're empath, it's going to drain you quite a bit.
Yeah, I even get trained doing these IPC work or EVPs.
Well, see, with ITCs or EVPs, it's not as much draining because the spirits are manipulating those objects to come through.
Yeah.
But when you're actually using your body for them to speak through you, especially if you're an empath, that's going to affect you quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
I think I've done it once and I care not to do it again. Just
I
because
hear you.
it's too much of a hassle. It's draining on the spirit.
Kind of startles me if they try it.
That's right. But yeah, no, it can be done. It's just very draining. You have to know what you're doing. And there will be people out there that say, well, channeling's not real. Well, yes, it is, but like I said
What
earlier,
kind?
with everybody's belief system, that's up to them whether they want to believe it or not.
One time I was doing a video and a friend of mine said, your voice changed suddenly. Like, oh really? We have a channel.
Yeah, and the spirit probably wanted to channel through you. I mean, I don't let them do that with me because I don't feel like I need to. I'll relay their message, but I'm not going to let them use my own voice, my own body to do that.
Right. So you should have set boundaries with that.
Yeah, definitely have to set boundaries. Well, thank you for calling, Nicole.
Thank you. You know, everything.
And like I said, for those listening on Spirit Chasers on Facebook, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific, check out her ITC session with Spirit apps. Like I said earlier, I don't care for the apps, but to everybody their own. Now, I don't know how well this is going to play, but this is a EVP of the little girl at the Omen House. I believe we caught her singing, so I'm gonna play that. Alright, we're down in the third level bedroom. I'm gonna record for about maybe 2 minutes. Who is the spirit here that's holding back the others? You know you're not welcome here. I'm just going to pause it real quick there because this is about a 2-minute recording. So if you hear her singing, let me know. Why are you doing this? Does it have something to do with the anniversary? Not gonna do what you did last time. I won't let you. Singing? Yeah. Yeah, she's here. Whatever. She's here. She's here. She's right by me. She's frightened, but she's here. She was frightened. Something was holding her back. I'm recording now. Okay, so that was a recording, and you might have very faintly heard her singing. Actually, I want to play another one if I can find one real quick, because we got 10 minutes left in the show. But it should be an interesting one, because this one I actually got at Morgan Earp's grave, and I don't know if this is the right one or not, but I asked the question, who fired the first shot at the OK Corral? Okay, no, I guess it's not going to load. I wanted to load up that one, and it didn't allow me to load it. How about this one? Let's try this one. See if it'll let me load that one. Okay, this one's only 21 seconds long. So let's see if, is that, like I said, I asked who fired the first shot at the OK Corral at Morgan Earp's grave. Oops. No, I don't want to. I want to play the thing, not. Who fired the first shot at the OK Corral? Can you give me that answer? I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, now what you heard at the end was not actually. This was the second time that, because I lost the original recording on who fired the question I asked originally. I asked who fired the first shot, and what I originally got when I did that EVP session was that Wyatt did. Now I know that would cause a lot of controversy in Tombstone, Arizona, but I'm going to play this again, and I want you to listen very closely at the end. It almost sounds like either boots on a wooden floor or gunfire. Who fired the first shot at the OK Corral? Can you give me that answer? I would greatly appreciate it. So you heard there where that wasn't the wind blowing. There was no wind blowing that day that I recorded that. One more time. Like I said, listen the last 10 seconds of the recording. Who fired the first shot at the OK Corral? Can you give me that answer? I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so it was actually the last 5 seconds, but it almost sounds like gunfire, like what would have happened at the OK Corral. It almost sounds like the wind, but I guarantee you there was no wind blowing that day. So we got about 7 minutes left in the show. I want to thank everybody that has supported the show. I want to thank everybody that continues to tune in and listen to this, whether they listen live or whether they listen to the recording. I am making the transition to Fort Worth, Texas on the 1st, so the show is going to be on hiatus for a while, maybe a couple months. Hopefully it won't take that long, but at least for a couple months as it stands now, till I get settled and situated there in Texas, and then we'll bring the show back. But for now, the show is going to be on hiatus. I will continue to do Ask Paranormal Phil probably every Tuesday night, unless something comes up to where I have to do it another night, but I will keep everybody informed. I'll constantly update the Facebook page. I'm going to talk with somebody about updating the show's website for me, because I probably will not have internet access where I'm going. I don't know yet. If I have internet access, I might do the show. I don't know. It depends on what happens, but we'll figure that out when I get there. First thing first, I gotta figure out where I'm gonna be living, where I'm gonna be working, stuff like that. It's a whole new move that nobody is ever going to be prepared for when they move. Always something's going to come up. But like I said, Texas is where I feel that I need to be in my life right now. I've lived in California most of my life, and it's just getting boring to me out here. I don't have nothing left out here really. I do have a lot of friends. I will say that I have a lot of friends out here, and they're going to be missed. But they're also my friends on Facebook, so I will keep in touch with them. And if they ever make it out to Fort Worth, they can visit me. But I've done a lot of helping other people, and it's time for me to stop hanging around helping other people and do something for myself. Which, like I said, I've always wanted to move to Texas, which I've lived in Texas, a couple of places south of Fort Worth and down in San Antonio. And fortunately, I'm going back to Fort Worth. My next stop, I wanted to make Austin, Texas, but for right now, Fort Worth seems actually the best bet. Maybe later on down the line, I'll get to Austin or outside of Austin, out in the country, but for now, Fort Worth will do. So, once again, thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you to my sponsors that have been there. Nicole Gaspard with Haunted Haunted Vessels and Cursed Objects. I think I said that right. And Night Dreams with Gary Anderson. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific on TuneIn and all the major apps. And then, of course, Ghost Stop, which if you need ghost hunting equipment, go to the top of the Talk in the Night website, talkinthenight.weebly.com. Click on the link there. Purchase items there. And get your stuff to there. So, I should read the ad as I would. Ghost Stop, your one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs. So yeah, click on the banner ad. So again, we got 2 minutes left in the show. 1 minute to talk, and the other minute to play the ending music. But tonight is going to be the last show, as I said. I will be back as soon as possible, but we're going to put the show on hiatus until I get settled there in Texas. So again, thank you for all those that tuned in. Since I started this, I was hoping to make a good run at this, but I have to take a break from doing it just to get settled. So until next time when I broadcast, whenever that may be, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talk in the Night.